Now before we get into the video, I do want to say a massive thank you to today's video sponsors, and once again that is jerseyfifa.com. They really do help keep the content on this channel going, and they even sent me a free shirt which you can see on screen here. And as you can see, I got the new Manchester United home kit, and genuinely the kit really is top quality. I highly recommend their product. So make sure to get in a link in the description down below, and now if you use code JerseyFifa at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. You get a great football shirt and you help support the channel, which I really do appreciate massively. So pre-season has now came to an end. Ten Hag has been in charge for 6 games and we've seen some slightly mixed results and performances. So I thought today we would look at 5 or 6 things that we have learned from this pre-season. Now I will start at the back with David De Gea in goal, because coming into the summer there were a fair amount of people wanting a new signing, claiming that De Gea can't play in an Erik ten Hag possession system. Now to be fair, I will happily admit that De Gea has actually surprised me a little bit. In the past few seasons his passing has been absolutely horrendous at times, however during pre-season his actually has been pretty decent. Now don't get me wrong, he will never be like someone like Ederson with his passing, but I do think that he has done well, and I think that he has shown enough signs to suggest that he can play out from the back if Ten Hag wants that this year. On top of this, he's also shown signs that he can sweep behind the defence as well. Again, I don't think he'll ever be elite in this area, but I do think that again he has shown glimpses that he can adapt this season if Ten Hag wants him to. However, for those positives there is still one big concern, and that is his ability to command his box, or actually his inability to do so. And if we're being honest, he has had a couple of embarrassing moments. For me, this is a huge concern. Set pieces seem bigger than ever in football at the moment, and I am a little bit concerned that De Gea is going to be targeted again. There's been positive signs, but I am still worried. Another player who a lot of people are worried about is Harry Maguire. Now personally, I seem to be one of the few people that actually like Maguire, and based on the lineups that we've seen in pre-season, I think he will be starting. Now just to clarify, don't get me wrong, I completely understand why people would be worried about that, because he was so poor last season. However, in a better system, I think he can rediscover his previous form. If that is the case, then it means that Varane will probably find himself settling for the bench. In pre-season, Maguire and Varane have been the two competing for the right centre-back spot. Maguire is certainly on top of that right now. With those two playing on the right, it has meant that Lindelof has been playing as the left-hand centre-back. Not something we've really seen before, but he's done reasonably well, and again he will provide great squad depth from this sort of position as the left centre-back. Because I'm pretty confident that new signing Lisandro Martinez will be the first choice. Maybe not in the first couple of games as he gains fitness, but long term he looks like United's starting left-sided centre-back for Ten Hag. That will most likely be alongside Maguire. Am I completely satisfied with that? Probably not. It's not what I would do, however I still think there is plenty of quality there, and I certainly have a lot of faith in Ten Hag's decision. And I think his main reasons for picking this duo will be based on what the side can do in possession. In Martinez and Maguire, United will have two very progressive centre-backs who can help this team really tick the ball over and move forward. Another player that has played a big part in ball progression in pre-season is Diogo Dalot, and for me he has been a real big winner from this year's summer tour. He has been a little bit of a surprise package for me personally. Now the reason Dalot has done so well is because he just seems like a natural fit for Ten Hag's system, because of his ability to play inverted, his ability to overlap, and his ability to underlap. He sort of has everything at the moment. If we compare that to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it really doesn't even seem close at the moment. On the ball, Dalot is the far more complete player, and that is why he will be a key starter for United this coming season. To be fair, there is still the option of Laird providing some sort of competition, although at the moment it looks like he'll be off to Watford on loan, and I think that's a good move for him if he can manage to stay fit for the whole season and get minutes in. If that is the case and Laird leaves on loan, then I think Dalot is very clearly the first choice right back for Manchester United this season, and personally, from what we've seen, I think that is certainly a good thing for this side moving forward. I do think this will be a big year for him. If he continues to adapt to this new role, then I think that by the end of the year, he could be seen as one of Manchester United's most important players in the current squad. Another player who I have felt is key for a long time now is Jadon Sancho, and I think now is the time that we are really going to be seeing that, because some of his performances in pre-season really have been quite exciting. Now what we have learned in pre-season is that Sancho is most likely going to be doing this from the right wing this year. So more than 12 months after bringing him into the club, United have finally found themselves an elite right winger. So one of the reasons I think Sancho is going to kick on this year is because of the way we've seen him linking up with Dalot. Sancho has always excelled when he's linked with a fullback, and we are starting to see that link up with Dalot already in pre-season. As a result of Dalot's support, it has allowed Sancho to move into various different positions, and that has seen his link play improving. Ten Hag has given his attackers plenty of freedom, and Sancho has really been thriving from that. A thriving Sancho really could be lethal. In pre-season we've been seeing this brilliant creative side, and if that is going to continue into the season, then again he will be one of the most important players for United this season. Something else we've seen in pre-season is Sancho scoring goals as well. During Sancho's best seasons with Dortmund, he scored a load of goals and grabbed a load of assists. He's been showing similar sort of form so far this summer. Now, perhaps slightly surprisingly, someone that has been important to Sancho is Scott McTominay. Now, we know he is extremely limited on the ball, however his runs alone have been able to create opportunities for Sancho in space. I think from what we've seen, it seems fair to say that Sancho has taken those opportunities, but now it is time for him to do it where it really matters. This season should be the year for his career to really kick on to that next level. Another player in perhaps a bit of a similar situation is Anthony Martial, and again he is one of those players that has had an incredible pre-season, and he's been adapting to Ten Hag's demands really well from quite early on in the system. Now obviously, interestingly, all of this has been going on whilst Ronaldo hasn't been around, and that's given Martial a head start. Whether or not Ronaldo stays, Martial will start the season as United's main man up front. To be honest, he deserves to. In pre-season, Martial has been showing a little bit of everything, and one thing that's really impressed me has been his link play, and his ability to drop deeper and bring others into the game with his passing. Importantly, Martial has also carried a threat going the other way as well, and that isn't something we've always seen from him in the past. But over the past few weeks, his ability to stretch defences has really been pleasantly surprising and threatening. Obviously, as a result of this good play and these good runs, it has allowed Martial to get into good goal scoring positions, and whilst he has missed a few, he has been United's main man and scored plenty of goals this tour. Now for me, the most important thing is that he is getting into those positions, and that the team are creating chances, because we all know that is something that has not happened at United in the past few seasons, so this is certainly progress. However, since Ten Hag has come in, we have seen a change. United are creating a lot more chances, and Martial is getting into good positions, and from an attacking point of view, United and Martial have looked better. Interestingly, Martial has also been improving from a defensive point of view as well. Now that is not something we associate with Martial at all, but in pre-season there has been a change, and the pressing has actually been really impressive. Now obviously this isn't just a Martial thing. For a team to press successfully, everyone has to be involved and pulling in the same direction. But the early signs at the club are that Ten Hag has got the team doing exactly that. In recent seasons, the main defensive criticism has been aimed towards the forwards, but again that is something that has been changing, with Martial, Sancho and Rashford all willing to press, and also willing to track back and help defend. Obviously another big part of that has been Bruno Fernandes. Now Bruno is a player that has always been willing to press, however what has changed the last few weeks is that he is now doing it much more systematically rather than erratically. Unsurprisingly, support has also come from Fred and McTominay as well, and their energy and intensity is always important. However, still the two of them haven't been good enough in 1v1s, and that is honestly my main concern. Even in pre-season against some pretty average opposition, we have seen the midfield getting beaten far too easily, and that has left the backline horribly exposed. That is something that is going to have to change sooner rather than later. Now whilst saying that, it is to be expected that there are these early problems, and overall I think it's been a positive summer tour. Early on we are seeing clear steps in the right direction, but for things to really work, Manchester United have to back Ten Hag in the market. This team is still desperate for new players, but that is probably a conversation for another day. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.